the Beneficent, the Merciful. Praise be to the Lord of the universe, who has created us and made us into tribes and nations, so that we may know each other, not that we may despise each other. If the enemy inclines towards peace, do thou also incline towards peace, and trust God, for the Lord is the one that heareth and knoweth all things. And the servants of God, most gracious, are those who walk on the earth in humility, and when we address them, we say peace. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My dear, respected brothers and sisters in humanity, I would like to greet you with the Islamic greeting of peace, which is Assalamu alaikum, peace be with you.
Wa alaikum assalam.
And a very good evening to all of you. It is for me an occasion of pleasure to be here with you, so that I may be able to learn something from you, and also I may be able to share something from the Islamic background with you. I'm very thankful to Virginia Kennerly for having invited me here. I see her often during our scriptural reasoning groups, which are held in the Trinity College. And this is for me today, in Ireland, the first time that I am speaking to a Christian congregation. I have been in Ireland for the last 8 years, 9 years. But I have had never the opportunity to have been invited to a Christian platform and then to speak to the Christian congregation. We have been invited in our Islamic Cultural Center, which is based in Dublin 15, for the last 3-4 years. Every year we have been invited bishops or priests and leaders of the Christian faith, and also members of the Christian faith. So I get a chance to speak to them there on our platform. But this is really amazing today for me, that I am speaking on your own platform with you. And I think this really reflects interfaith dialogue. This reflects that we are living in a society where there is really a great need of mutual acceptance and tolerance. And I would like to congratulate all the organizers of today's event for organizing this amazing meeting. The topic which I have been given is the reality of jihad in Islam. And before I come and speak on the topic, I would like to just make one thing clear. Islamic law is derived from 2 sources. How many sources?
2 sources.
The first source is Quran, the words of Allah, God. And the second is Hadith. Hadith are the words of the Prophet Muhammad. So in Islam, law is not just derived from the divine words of God, but also the divine or the words of Prophet Muhammad. And in Islamic law, the words of Prophet Muhammad are also seen to be as indirectly the divine words, because he has been inspired, motivated by God himself. So the Quran says, وَمَا يَنْتِقُ عَنِ الْهَوَىٰ, that this Muhammad, he does not speak from his own desire. إِنْ هُوَ إِلَّا وَحْيٌ يُوحَىٰ. Whatever he says is also considered to be a revelation. But the difference is that his words we do not call the words of God, Quran, we call it Hadith. So before coming to certain proofs and evidences and arguments, what jihad according to the primary 2 Islamic sources is, let us just first discuss the perception. When the word jihad is said or mentioned, what usually comes up in our minds? It's torture, it's aggression, it's violence in the name of religion, it's the killing of non-Muslims in the name of religion. These kind of unfortunate things come up in mind, which is really a shame, because in reality, the word jihad, in its root, in Arabic, every word has a root. And from that root, different words are made. the root word of jihad is jahad or juhud. And according to the etymological scholars of Arabic language, whether it is Imam Raghib al-Isfahani, very distinguished etymological scholar, or whether it is Imam Ibn Faris, or Imam Abu Mansur al-Azhari, or Imam Ibn Manzur, these four Imams, great authorities on Arabic language, they all have the same opinion, and they say that jahad and juhud literally means struggle, striving, strengthening, or putting your input, your struggle into something which is good for the society. So literally speaking, jihad has nothing to do with war. Jihad has nothing to do with weaponry, with weapons. Jihad has nothing to do with harming anybody. Jihad literally means an effort. It literally means a struggle. Literally means any input. What kind of input? Any input which is for the betterment of society. That is jihad. According to Islamic law, all Islamic scholars have classified jihad in various different types. The first type of jihad is jihad bil-ilm. Jihad bil-ilm is the jihad through academic input, the jihad through academic research, or the struggle to create awareness in the society, for example. Any struggle to create awareness in the society on human rights, basic human rights, on the freedom of expression, freedom of a religion. Any such effort, whether it is a seminar, whether it is a conference, and according to Islamic law today, your event also reflects jihad bil-ilm. Your event today reflects the effort to create awareness in the society. So according to Islamic law, the first type of jihad is jihad through through knowledge, by creating awareness in the society. The second type of jihad is the jihad bil-mal, the jihad through wealth. What kind of jihad is this? This is the jihad, the struggle for public service. This is the struggle to eliminate poverty in the society. This is the struggle to eliminate any kind of poverty in the society, and by means of wealth helping the poor in the society. This is also known as jihad, but this jihad will be known as jihad bil-mal. The jihad, the effort, the struggle with one's wealth. Then there is a third jihad. The third jihad is the jihad fi siyasa. This is the jihad which is the struggle for social justice in the society. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, he said, this is an authentic tradition. He said the best jihad is saying the truth in front of a dictator. The best jihad is saying the truth in front of a tyrant. That is the best kind of struggle one can do. Which means that jihad is also a struggle which is a political struggle, but one which is to create social justice. Then there is another jihad. This jihad is the jihad which is normally, people when they mention jihad, they only think about this. This is the jihad which is the jihad bis-sayf, the jihad with the sword. There is a jihad with the sword, no doubt. There is an effort with the sword in Islamic law, in Islam. But what is it that is really misunderstood? Jihad bis-sayf, the jihad with the sword, with weapons, is that jihad, is that right of any nation which has been granted by the United Nations Charter, that any nation, if it is attacked, then it has its right to defend itself. Jihad, this jihad, which is to arm yourself and to fight in a battlefield, in Islam is only and only justified if one is defending himself and defending itself. There is no other justification for this. The Western common law has its doctrine of just war. And the doctrine of just war, if you know that one of the reasons you can engage into war is if you have sufficient evidence and proof that your enemy is preparing to attack you. This is one of the justified reasons in common law to engage into war. And this is also one of the justification used to invade Iraq. This is also the justification which was used to invade Iraq, because they said that we have solid proof and arguments that there is weapons of mass destruction. But I think everybody knows where the weapons of mass destructions are. They've never been found. But this was the justified reason for the United States and its allies to engage into war. In Islam, there is not such a justified reason. In Islam, for weapon struggle with weapons and with arms, to arm yourself, there is only one justification, and that is only to defend yourself. Nothing else. And even then, Islamic law is very clear. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, peace be upon him, has been very clear that in such a struggle, there are very strict regulations. Children, elders, innocents are not to be harmed. Those men, those who are not weaponed, have no weapons, they are not to be harmed. Not alone this, in Islam, Islam goes further. The Prophet Muhammad, he said, when you are engaging in war with your enemy, and you are invading the country of your enemy, because you are defending yourself, then remember, to cut the trees is prohibited. The trees of that country is prohibited. The natural resources, to destroy them is prohibited. To destroy churches, temples, is forbidden, is prohibited. Even the Prophet Muhammad went to this extent that he said, the religious leaders of any faith, even if you are invading their country and you are justified by doing that, when you are invading because of defensive struggle, you are defending yourself, they attacked you and you are attacking them back, even then the religious leaders, they are exempted and they have immunity. You cannot touch them. So the temples are not to be touched. Islam goes to this extent, but it is very unfortunate that there is a minority today in this Muslim world which has been given all highlight through the media. That minority is probably not even 2 or 3%. The Taliban, for example, that they were destroying in Afghanistan, the Buddhist structures, they destroyed them. And the Muslim scholars around the whole world, they spoke against them. And they said, this is totally un-Islamic which has been done. But unfortunately, the media only highlighted that, but the input and the struggle of the scholars of the Muslims, which condemned this act, was never highlighted in the media, which is sad. But the reality is, in Islam, jihad is, the fourth type of jihad is jihad, which is safe with sword, but that has its own rules and regulations. Then there is another jihad, that is jihad bin nafs, the struggle against one's ego, against one's ill-commanding self, against one's lust, against one's evil characteristics. That is another jihad. And before explaining this jihad, I would like to quote some verses of the Quran. Because as I said, that Islamic law, the primary source of Islamic law is first of all the Quran. In regards to the Quran, the first verse which I would like to mention, it is a verse from the surah, from the chapter, which is a chapter which is known as the Meccan chapter.